So let's talk about side fat, those stubborn love handles that just refuse to go away. When you wear t-shirts, jeans, whatever you wear, it just never looks right. So let's get into how you can get rid of side fat so you can look great in whatever thing you wear. The smartest way to actually get a taut waistline and get rid of side fat is to attack that area from both sides. What does that mean? The side of your torso has muscles. They're called obliques. So you want to train those oblique muscles, make them bigger, and at the same time reduce the fat layer that coats them, and that's what's going to make your waist look tight and get rid of that muffin top, that side fat action that's collecting like a ring of Saturn around your gut. And you got to do both, because think about it. If you are just like a super skinny guy with no fat on your waist, but you have no muscle there, then you just look like a twig. Whereas if you're just like that huge power lifter that's got muscle in your obliques, but you got fat coating it, you still look a bit like a rugby ball. Let's get into how to do both. You've heard your whole life that the best way to train the abs is to do sit-ups, to do crunches, to do planks. And you're thinking, okay, for the obliques, it's probably these side planks, probably these side crunches and Russian twists and all these cool exercises that you see people do. Wrong. You don't really want to focus on these. These exercises have their place, but they're like the 10%, the cherry on top of the ice cream. What is the ice cream when it comes to oblique training? It's unilateral compound exercises. Unilateral just means one leg at a time or one arm at a time. Compound means you're using multiple muscles at the same time. Multiple joints are engaged at the same time, which basically means you're able to do bigger movements, heavier movements, and really overload the muscle group that you're targeting. So what does that look like for obliques? We're talking about exercises like Bulgarian split squats, single leg Romanian deadlifts, maybe trunk rotations, the single arm dumbbell shoulder press, exercises that truly challenge the side to side balance, because this is when the obliques are truly getting worked. Now let's think about what the obliques actually do. If the abs and the lower back stabilize you from falling front and back, the obliques job is to stop you from falling side to side. Now of course they all work together to basically act as the trunk of a tree, and it stops you from toppling over in any direction. So any exercise that genuinely targets your balance, your obliques have to be tense, they have to be engaged at all times, and that's the best way to overload them and therefore grow them in size. Now you might be thinking, okay, well surely I can just do squats, surely I can just do deadlifts, why do I have to do this unilateral business? You can. I just believe that with unilateral movements you can really isolate a little bit more these obliques. It's also a much more functional and athletic movement, because when you do just normal gym bro squats and deadlifts, it's good for building brute strength, but it doesn't translate that well to athletic performance and a functional body. Next, the compound exercises that we just spoke about will do 80% of the work in building out the muscles in your core. But like abs, they could do with some extra focus if you really want to target the muscles in that area and force them to grow. What are the best exercises to do that? You can do things like cable torso rotations, back extensions. You kind of go on the side, so you just work your obliques, cable work or resistance band work. All of these are going to target your obliques in a much more isolated way. Combining those two is really the best way to build out the muscle in your core. Next is to do martial arts and sports. If you actually played sports in your life or engaged in martial arts, you'll see that there's a lot of rotation, trunk rotation, when we're talking about punches, when we're talking about jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, and also when we talk about soccer, basketball, there's a lot of balancing from side to side going on. So your trunk, your core, not just your obliques, but your abs and your lower back, it's always being trained when you're doing dynamic sports that require balance and a generation of power. So this is why people that do martial arts like MMA and things, you can see they have really developed obliques. Even swimmers, football players, you can usually see that it's not like this bodybuilder super protruding like abs that's dominant. Usually their abs are there because they're lean and there's some muscle, but it's actually their obliques that are really defined because they're so activated from balancing side to side. So it's actually a really good way for you to train your obliques is to engage in martial arts and sports that require this kind of rotation and balance. Now we're going to get onto how to reduce the fat so that you can actually show the muscle that you built. So when it comes to losing the fat on the side of your belly, you got to target the side. No, you don't. Okay. It all comes down to a calorie deficit. You guessed it. I guessed it. Everybody knows it. Joe's mom knows it. Sarah's sister knows it. So stop doing these specific foods are gonna make my belly fat go away, or specific exercises are gonna make my belly fat go away. None of that shit is true. All you have to focus on if you want to lose fat is staying in a calorie deficit. I think I carry most of my fat in my face and in my gut, my love handles. So when I'm losing fat, I just gotta wait until the calorie deficit hits that part, because eventually if you're eating at a calorie deficit, your body's gonna go, hey, I need to take the fat from somewhere. I've been taking it from your face, I've been taking it from your arms, I've been taking it from your chest and your lower back and your ass and everywhere, and now it's time to take it from your gut. Now for most people, that's where you store your fat. Just understand that as long as you stay in a calorie deficit in a way that is sustainable, then your body will eventually tap into the reserves on the side of your belly. So the best way to stay in a calorie deficit that I found was to actually leverage some form of fasting. You can do one meal a day. A lot of people have great success with this. You can do intermittent fasting where you only eat within a certain time window. And these are ways where by eating less times in the day, you have less chances to overeat. And I found this to be extremely effective when it comes to staying in a calorie deficit. So take of that what you will and give fasting a try to stay in a deficit. Next, so let's say you started eating at a calorie deficit because you watched this video and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of my side fat. But then how the hell do you know you're actually eating at a deficit? You're gonna ask me, well, I'm eating at a calorie deficit, but it's still not going down. This is one of the most common problems. People don't actually know whether their calculations are correct. How are you gonna know that your calorie calculation was correct? By measuring not only your calories, but your weight as well. So if you've been eating at a deficit and the weight's going down, you know your calculations are accurate. But if it's not going down, then you know that your calculations have been messed up. So you go back and forth between your weight and the calories you've been measuring until you get a very good sense of what your maintenance is, what your deficit is, and your ability to calculate calories becomes more fine-tuned. This is one of the secret tips that everyone who knows how to get lean knows. They just have a sense about it. Even the people that say, I don't really calculate calories, I don't really believe in it, I just know, I just eat less. These people have a sense. They can sense from what they're eating that they're in a deficit. They won't use the term deficit, but they'll eat in a way where they know, okay, this is the amount that makes me lose fat. How do you think they got to know that amount? Because they're measuring their weight, they're measuring their pant size, they're constantly conscious and giving themselves feedback about their weight and their current situation and the way that they're eating. And that's what fine-tunes their ability to lose weight and know that they're on the right path. You need to develop this, and the best way for you to do it is to start by measuring your calories and your weight. Now, I know it's going to be a bit boring, it's going to be a bit tedious, you're going to be like, oh my god, I don't want to do this, why does it have to be so hard? It's only going to be the first 2 weeks, and then you'll have this knowledge for the rest of your life, and then you can join the cool crew that don't calculate calories or whatever. It's like mathematics that you learned as a kid. You still use it, right? You still, when you go to shop, you like 13 pounds versus 19 pounds, it's probably 32 pounds. You kind of just know how to do the arithmetic, and it helps you in life. It's the same thing. So look at it like that, make that investment, go through a little bit of that hardship so that it helps you for the rest of your life. Next, so you're measuring your weight, you're measuring your calories, and now you want to lose fat by just doing cardio, because you heard Sarah or your aunt or your friend say cardio is the way to lose fat, and you join a running club because everyone joins a running club now. Running's super cool now. Everyone wants to go on a run because it's like the new dating app, right? You stand around, you talk to people afterwards, you get the runner's high. It's all great. I don't want to say bad things about runners, even though I think it's become more of a cool, trendy hype thing rather than a health thing. But here's the truth. If you want to lose side fat and belly fat, 90+% of you are better off walking instead of running. Just walking and lifting, doing the exercises we mentioned, and actually stopping yourself from running. This is going to piss some of you off. You're going to come back at me and say, it doesn't make sense, you know, I lost this much because of running. Okay, it works for some of you, and that's great, and you do what works for you. But for 90+% of people that go on runs, you're going to actually feel super hungry after the run, and you're going to eat more than what your run burnt. And you go through enough cycles like that, you're going to get discouraged because you're like, I'm doing all this running and I'm not losing fat. And then what's going to happen is you're going to stop running when things get hard, and you're going to eat more. I've been talking to a friend of mine who says she's been running for like 3 years and her weight hasn't changed. It just pains me to see it. And the moment you switch away from that and go to walking and lifting, you'll see much better results, because walking actually calms the mind and even can calm the hunger, and you won't be super hungry after, unlike a lot of these high dynamic sports. I love sports. I've been a sports lover my whole life. If you put a gun to my head and said lose weight by March next year, I would stop those sports and just walk. Next, the final thing is a little trick. The little trick is to wear clothes that actually downplays the fat on your belly. This isn't really a way to get rid of side fat, but in a visual sense, it is, right? Because most of the people you meet in life, you're going to meet them clothed. You're not going to meet them naked. So you should wear clothes that actually fit you in a way that doesn't overly accentuate the love handles. Instead of going for tight, taut t-shirts and tucking them in, you want to go for more loose, relaxed fit t-shirts that drape over it. Same with coats and jackets, that you don't want it just cropped right by the waistline where it kind of just pudges out because of your love handles. You want to wear more loose fitting, more roomy things that provide a much more generous silhouette. Now, if you want to actually know a lot more about fashion and how to dress in a way that's really nice without being a fashion obsessed guy, check out these 2 videos that I made. They've helped a lot of people. And if not, use these 8 tips to actually get rid of side fat. I hope this video helped you. See you in the next one.